And while we're on the, I guess, topic of tracks in regards to the map, if there's DLC in the future, do you think they would just make a DLC island, or would they create some weird overworld thing and try to make it where we have intermission tracks between the original release tracks and the DLC tracks?
I mean, the tinfoil hat theory right now is that they're gonna do islands, right? Like,
Yeah.
that would be the easiest. Like, this world, if it's as big as we think it is going to be full. And we haven't even talked about the free roam P-switches and all the collectibles and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they're either gonna do islands, or one other thing that I did see get mentioned online, which would also be really cool, is that they do like DLC in the sky or like DLC underground, because really, other than Airship Fortress and Great Question Block Ruins, we don't have any like sky themed tracks.
We do have Sky High Sunday.
Yeah, but that's not very sky high. I mean, it's kind of on top of a mountain, I guess.
Yeah,
It's not much. It's not much of a sky themed track anymore. Which, even in 8 Deluxe, you could argue it wasn't really much of a sky track. It was just only by name.
Yeah,
it just
happened to be floating.
It just happened to be a floating giant piece of ice cream. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to. I will say, and yes, I am a Sky High Sunday enjoyer on Mario Kart 8. I am in the minority with that, but I am looking forward to playing the changes that they implemented, because it looks like they added, like, I want to say in one of the pictures of that track, it looks like there's like 4 or 6 different paths that you can go all in like one small section.
Yeah,
and
that like split path part. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like I want to learn like what's the optimal path, or like what's the most fun path, or what's the path that I'm going to take in competitive that like helps me avoid all the shenanigans from other players. Like, that part looked really fun. Yeah, you actually kind of inadvertently reminded me of Dino Jungle.
Ooh, I'm excited for that one actually.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty excited for Dino. That one's gonna be fun, especially with like they added like the stuff that they actually added to it. Like, now the dinosaurs trying to get you, compared to like from what I remember with the original on Double Dash, it was like, cool, yeah, just make sure you don't get stepped on by the Stegosaurus or whatever.
They put more dinosaurs in the track. It's what it's always needed. It's more dinosaurs.
Yeah. So, yeah, that track will be fun.
Yeah, not to mention too, the laboratory has like a little added route too. Like, you can charge jump on the wall, and there's like a little secret tunnel through the top of it now, which is cool. My guess is that there's going to be like maybe a couple coins in an item box up there, so it's going to be mostly inconsequential, but
yeah,
it'll look cool the first time you watch someone do it, and it's gonna be like, what, how'd you do that?
Yeah, that's probably going to be like the first month of the game.
Yeah,
just everyone like accidentally discovering things, and everyone else being like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, especially with free roam too. Like, it's gonna be a speed run for IGN to get their 100% free roam guide out there. Like, it's bound to happen. It's just gonna be what day. Who's gonna spend the time in IGN to sit down, grind out all the P-switch missions, find all the question block panels, and it's gonna be mad.
I'm just hoping that, like, because like, of course there's the collectibles and all the P-switch missions and stuff, but like, I'm hoping there's also like some Easter eggs to like give to the fans, like as they're searching for things, like, hey, did you notice this, or do you get this reference and stuff. Like, I'm hoping that it pays off more than just like a glorified treasure hunt to find all the medallions and all the P-switches and stuff. But I mean, they did give us back our missions.
That is true.
So.
And one thing that they did say in the Ask the Developers, I was absolutely astounded when I read this. There are over 200 arrangements of songs in the game, and 90% of them are most likely going to be free roam exclusives. It's all rearrangements of other tracks from Mario, and I made a post about it a couple days ago on Channel 3. I'm just like, what, 200?
So how long is that going to take to get onto the Nintendo Music app?
Day one, are we riot? Question mark.
That's a lot of music, and I mean, of course, Nintendo's been like doing like small snippets and stuff on social media lately, and like one of them was it was like a jazz version of some song from Mario Galaxy.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so and like just different things like that where like I'm sure everyone's going to find like their new favorite Mario song remastered.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. But I think my main thing with the free roam is, aside from the music, because now I want to do the free roam just to find out what my favorite song is going to be from the free roam.
Oh yeah, me too.
But in reality, actually, I guess I have two questions. But my main one is, why should I care about free roam? They never told us. They never told us what doing the P-switch missions do. And they never told us what finding the medallions do. And they've already told us that the outfits are from collecting food from different spots on the map. So, what do the medallions do?
My guess is that the collectibles are probably, well, one, they're gonna be the stickers. They did confirm that in the Ask the Developers. They actually did say what the stickers were. They're all road signs from free roam. So my guess is that, you know, you do a P-switch mission, or you find a panel or a medallion or something, and it's gonna give you a sticker of like a road sign or something that you can stick on your cart from around the map. Saturn in Twitch chat just brought out a great point, and I kind of speculated on this last discussion that we had. It almost feels like Mario Kart World, as Saturn puts it, may have been inspired by Mario Kart Tour, but I think the way that I worded it the first time was Mario Kart World is basically if Nintendo took Mario Kart Tour and made it a console game.
A console game? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can... Okay, yeah, in that sense, yes, I can 100% agree with that and see that. Yep. Yeah, no, it's... And especially with how they're doing the outfits and stuff, like, I can definitely see that. But, I mean, at the same time, Tour was also 100% Nintendo saying, hey, what can we get away with our audience, and what's like an absolute no-go with our audience. That was 100% a mobile game to test the boundaries of what they can actually do with their fan base. And they learned. I'm pretty sure they actually learned with some stuff, at least.
Some things, but
some things.
I guess that's a great pivot to talk about the characters and the outfits, because the one thing that I don't think they learned is how to do good menu design, because every single outfit for every single character is its own character slot. Oh man, come on, yeah. Nintendo.
And like, my concern is how is that going to be ordered? Is it going to be ordered based on when you discovered it, or is it going to be ordered based on a preset order of characters? Like, if that makes sense. So, like,
Yeah.
Like, if I discover a Peach outfit, like if I discover the Peach touring outfit or whatever, and then I discover the Yoshi, like the purple Yoshi outfit, and then I discover another Peach outfit, is that, for me, is it going to be the Peach outfit, then Yoshi outfit, or is it going to be Peach outfit, Yoshi outfit, Peach outfit? And like, if so, does that mean like everyone's Switch save file is going to be different whenever you're trying to find the costumes?
Or I hope that's not the case.
That's that's just chaos waiting to happen. But
well, I will say the one thing that we've seen in the treehouse footage, and I wish they would have talked about it, was the sort button. There's a sort button on the character select screen, and they didn't go over what those are, probably because they would have revealed an outfit that they didn't want to. And that outfit, unfortunately, was not Pirate Wario. So, like, my guess is that your sort options are probably going to be order unlocked by character, or just shove all the costumes in whatever preset order the game has them coded in at the end and just do base skin characters first.
You could probably have it by theme too, like the touring theme.
Or by theme, yeah, that's a good call out too, yeah. Part of the sort option, or at least I'm hoping with the sort option, is okay, you have your base skins and then it all just condenses down to one page, and then it's just like a folder with like little mini renders, kind of like how the Yoshi color option works in 8 Deluxe. That'd be nice. Like,
going off of how things happened with Mario Kart 8, because if I remember right, the tutorial only showed like a handful of characters, and no one knew that the character roster was going to be that big. So there is still the opportunity for them to optimize the character select screen in the actual one, because again, like the tutorial one that everyone got in the hands-on experience was very much like, I mean, they were only capped at 100cc, and there's only like so much that they could see. So I could very well see like there could still be some changes to the game before like we actually get it in our hands.
I sure hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too.
But to your point, does that also mean that there could be more characters that we haven't seen yet?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's more characters that we just haven't seen yet. Especially like because like we've already seen like a lot of like the smaller known enemies and stuff that like, and like I'm of course blanking on all the names because all of those names are just weird, but like I mean, you get dolphin on Dolphin Dasher and stuff. Like you get a bitty buggy, or no, yeah. It's a bitty bug on a bitty buggy. Like,
yeah, the bitty butt on a bitty buggy.
Yeah. So like you're gonna get like those fun interactions, but I think the downside is so far from what we've seen, none of those characters get costumes. So like that is one thing that like I've noticed is like, and like I want to say like they highlighted Monty Mole the other day on the Nintendo News app or whatever.
Yeah.
And like all of the pictures were just the same design Monty Mole, whereas like a lot of the other characters like Peach or Bowser Jr. or Yoshi, like you got a sneak peek at least some of their outfits. And so unless they're really hiding like Japanese Monty Mole or something like that, like I feel like a lot of those characters, a lot of those smaller characters and stuff are not going to really get outfits. And I mean, that's probably not the worst thing, like, but at the same time, that is something worth mentioning.
Yeah. Do you think the Koopalings are coming back, or have they been banished to the Shadow Realm, at least for Switch 2?
I honestly, I hope that the Koopalings come back because, like, I don't look, man. I don't want to be able to drive as a skeleton fish, and yes, I know it has an actual name. I just always forget that name. But I don't want to be
Bonefish.
able to drive. Yeah, I don't want to be able to drive as that character and not be able to drive as any of the Koopalings. Now, granted, I don't really drive as the Koopalings and stuff, but I still think like I still feel like they were such a core part of Mario Kart 8's identity, if that makes sense, in terms of like the character roster. Like, I feel like they were definitely like everyone knew that they were part of the roster, and so just to like randomly erase them just feels weird. Now, the character selection, it's going to be interesting to see what other characters we haven't seen yet. Especially because what wasn't it like King Bomb? People were saying they saw him in like the very first like the Switch 2 reveal, not even like the Switch 2
Yeah.
Direct. And then like we haven't really seen anything of him since.
Yeah, I think King Bob might have been a stretch at a character that was in the back. That, like, when you zoom in, like, oh, there's majority black pixels on where a cart should be. It's King Bob. I do know, at least before the game got revealed, pretty much everyone was saying they thought King Bob was going to be a shoo-in just because he was playable in Tour.
Yeah.
So, and that kind of happened with a lot of characters that we ended up getting. Especially some of, like, the enemy characters, or what the devs called, like, the NPC drivers or whatever. Like, Hammer Bro, I guess, is technically an obstacle in some points. Like, I think there are Hammer Bros throwing hammers on the track outside of the item. Charging Chuck, Goomba. You know, like your traditional Mario enemies are going to be playable. And we didn't even talk about the Kamek item when we were going over items. But
No, I was thinking about that too. But I mean, because we've only seen what, like one or two things that the Kamek item can do. We've seen like the changing everyone to like Charge and Chuck, and we've also seen it. I know that there's a recent social media video of what it could do, but I can't think of it to save my life.
Well, I just put out a video speculating that we might be able to drive as a camel in Mario Kart World, so anything's possible, I guess.
True.
Because I believe Cow is also in that category of like obstacle / NPC character that will be drivable. Like, my guess is that you unlock Cow by using the Kamek item in Moo Moo Meadows.
I could see that. Or by doing the P-Switch mission.
Or doing it, or yeah.
Slightly off topic, mild tangent. I feel like we need to set up an event or something for everyone who's like getting it day one of like just like an exploration mode. Like,
Oh yeah, just like a group free roam. That'd be awesome.
yeah, just like a group free roam. Because I think that was like my other question with free roam that like I completely blanked on was like if you're in a group free roam, like if those medallions and like if all the things that like you come across and collect, if it's the same for everyone or if that's like just whoever's the host.
I would hope that it would be tied to the individual and not the host, because my guess is that like when someone activates a P-Switch mission in free roam when you're in a friend room, like that P-Switch will like that P-switch itself will probably just be pressed for that person.
Right.
Because, like, at least in the instance of that one where, you know, they're like skipping across the rails to get the blue coins or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't remember if those rails are there permanently or if they just show up as part of the mission, but it would be really funny if it was just part of the mission and that player presses that P switch and someone's standing on both sides of like the gap and they're just watching a player just like float around or whatever. But at least for the medallions and the panels, those would be pretty easy to kind of like work around being different for the host and the people in the room, because it's just like, oh, you kind of just gray it out for the people that have it and you don't gray it out for the people that don't.
Right. Because I mean, because that would be something where it would make like doing the group free roam would be like more enjoyable, because it's like, oh yeah, we like, it would also encourage everyone to like stick together instead of splitting up, because then it's like, oh yeah, I found something, let's all do like the challenge real quick or whatever.
Yeah.
Although granted, I guess they did confirm that like you can transport to your person.
Yeah, you can like
right?
quick warp the people. Yeah. So
like I guess you could still like split up and look for clues, but
yeah,
that would definitely be like, I want group free roam to at least be worth it, instead of being like similar to Elden Ring, where in Elden Ring it's like, oh, only the host gets like the side of grace and all the other like forward progress, and then like if you go back to your file on then like you have to like go back through that track and find all the side of graces again for your file.
Yeah.
So yeah, if everyone can progress at the same time, that would be nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably not like everybody progress at the same time kind of thing. Like we'll probably all still have to do it individually. But like you're saying, like if we were to stick together as a group, that would be a good way to ensure that. But say like maybe a couple days down the road, if a couple people get together and do free roam again, someone may have found like, say, a peach medallion or like a panel or whatever that the other person hasn't found, and that, you know, would be a little easier to manage. And I guess while we're talking about online, this is probably like one of the biggest like bullet points we should probably cover before we wrap up here. This is online in general. It seems very copy paste from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe minus tournament mode, which is kind of unfortunate, but I don't know. I guess you have the group free roam, so that kind of adds to that experience, but I don't know. Online experience just, it doesn't feel like it got the same kind of special treatment the rest of the game got.
Yeah. I will say I know that they kind of like confirmed some of the basic stuff when it came to like online, but they did confirm that they're doing knockout online, right? Or...
yeah, so
okay,
the rating system is back for VR. BR is back. They didn't specify the name actually, but you know, when you go to your online options, there's regional, worldwide, knockout tour, and battle, and they all have their own like little numbers. So
okay, we would have VR and KR,
I guess.
Maybe.
But I don't know. Again, it might just be the number, because if someone asked me what VR and BR stood for in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe like a month ago, I'd be like, I don't know. I know what they are. I don't know what they stand for. But of course, as I was putting together my notes, I'm like, oh, VR versus rating. I put the pieces together. I'm like, BR battle. Oh, I put the pieces together, and it was kind of funny. Tournament mode being gone, though. I mean, I'm just kind of bummed as an admin of MKR. I mean, we're gonna have to figure out how to repurpose or fully replace Wolves Den, because that's one of the biggest parts of the season on how we track points and stuff. And without that tournament system in place, that's just no longer an option.
Yeah. Granted, I think a good way to look at it would be that does at least free up time to figure out how to implement knockout round, or like the knockout mode. So like you could potentially replace it with knockout mode in some way, shape, or form. So, but
yeah, it's just going to be a pivot from a floating weekly time frame to a, okay, we have to add another day into the week of the season where people have to show up if they want the points.
Yeah.
So I don't know, or maybe tournaments are part of a day one patch and they just haven't talked about it. I can keep dreaming. I hope that's not the case though. But
I do feel like there are going to be some changes from what we have seen on the, like, from the hands-on stuff. I do feel like there are going to be some quality of life changes and things that like we've been complaining about and speculating that they are, like, I do feel like it's going to be different.
Yeah.
So
at least I hope. I don't know. even if it's not a day one patch, I feel like people are going to get their hands on the game. Something's going to break and Nintendo's going to be like, ooh, we have to fix that. And then, you know, say maybe a month down the road, or, you know, like the booster course past several years down the road, they just decide to rebalance the entire game because they're tired of seeing people do Waluigi Wiggler. I don't know. We're going to get patches for this game. Hopefully there's some content in some of them. I mean, I know people are complaining about the $80 price point, but if you haven't read the Ask the Developer, go read it. That's my call to action. This game has been in development for better half of 7, on pushing 8 years. And the development team were not willing to make sacrifices to have this game run on the Switch 1. So, given the fact that people had their high hopes for this game, and at least right now there are several parts of it that feel underwhelming at best. June 5th is going to come around, and I'm hoping a lot of people are going to feel a sense of relief, whether it be day one or down the road when, you know, people start getting more comfortable and you know, competitive scene, which we haven't even talked about, like really kind of just settle in, kind of do their thing. And, you know, that gives us as admins time to figure out how we're going to switch, because I genuinely do not think we are going to switch to Mario Kart World until probably Christmas at the earliest. We're going to be playing 8 Deluxe for at least the rest of the year.
Yeah, well, on the bright side, we will have some LAN tournaments to look forward to see how they formulate stuff, because Riptide, I want to say it's Riptide that's going to be like the first LAN, like first major LAN tournament to fully switch to Mario Kart World, because they went on record before like the Switch 2 was even, like before the release date was even announced, like they went on record saying if it's released before the tournament, like we will be switching to that game.
Yeah.
And so
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see how they go about things and how they utilize. I'm gonna be honest, I'm just really interested to see how people utilize Knockout, and I'm hoping that they don't just turn Knockout into a glorified tiebreaker or a glorified last chance thing. Like, I hope it actually gets implemented in a more useful way, because I think that can be pretty fun. But
imagine if we got like a whole knockout bracket where you had to go through like a series of qualifiers, and based on what segment you got eliminated in or where you placed in the top 4, in the end you got like points or whatever, and then at the end the top 24 did another knockout. Which, actually, on the topic of, just want to cover this briefly, we don't know what Knockout Tour is going to look like with less than 24 players.
Yep.
Like, is that even a thing that we can do? Are we forced to have bots in Knockout Tour if we have less than 24? I hope not.
It, yeah, that will be interesting to see as well.
Yeah, because like imagine like 12-player knockout where instead of eliminating one player per segment, you just do one and then your final is a top 6. Or a top 5? I don't know how to do math.
I mean, if you had 12, I could very well see it being like bottom 2 of each section.
Or bottom 2 getting kicked out, yeah.
Yeah. I could see it being bottom 2 or something like that.
It probably would be bottom 2 because that evens it out to top 4 final. Like,
yeah.
I don't know how to do math. Number 1 feature you want to see in Mario Kart World that has not been confirmed?
Yeah, that's such an interesting question because the meme answer for me is different colored toads, because even though they still have the character models as the fans, they apparently don't want you driving as any other colored toad than red toad. No, I think for me, it's definitely hoping that like they do a quality of life change and consolidate the characters with the character outfits. Kind of like how we were talking earlier, because I just like, I get that there's the sorting button and like they may keep it with just the sorting button, but I really don't. I just want a nice screen where I can see all the playable characters in a nice format, and like if I want to change the outfit, then I just select the character and it gives me an option of which skin to use. Again, more akin to like the Shy Guy or Yoshi and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, where it just like you have the option of the different colors or whatnot. I think that's probably the main feature that I'm hoping for, because everything else, driving wise and stuff, is very much more of just I want to wait and see and actually play it before I form an opinion of if I want the mechanic to change or not.
Yeah, the driving is really going to be a feel it out once we get the game kind of thing, but at least from what we've seen in gameplay, it looks good. It's just, does it feel good? And thankfully everyone at the demos have said it does feel good, so I don't know, that would be nice. Saturn in Twitch chat says challenge NPC racers to unlock more items for your cart. That would be cool to actually see like actual mission races versus CPUs. Like maybe that could be the way, or an alternative way, I guess, to unlocking those characters. Like Cow, Goomba, Sting Bee, Dolphin. All the funny nonsense enemy characters. That would be fun. Ooh, boss fights. That's a good call too. Boss fight missions would be really fun. And
yeah, that would.
My hopes is that there are a few, maybe. I don't know. I mean, it just seems like with all of, like the eels and like the magmars and stuff that we've seen around the map, like it just seems like there's a possibility to. Like, I think it was during the treehouse, they were showing off free roam. They were in Wario's shipyard, driving out towards the edge of the map. There's just some like water eel flying thing that's popping out of the water. And you know everybody's instinct is going to drive towards it, go see what it is, what it does. And then the guy in the treehouse is like, no, I'm just gonna turn around and act like this doesn't exist. Stay tuned for the Mario Kart Direct. And then they just didn't talk about it.
Yep.
So
granted, there's a lot of things that they didn't talk about in the direct.
Yeah, that like
but that's a
I don't know.
different discussion.
Yeah, I definitely feel like Nintendo played their hand a little early with what they showed off in the Switch 2 Direct versus the Mario Kart World Direct, which
Yeah.
is also a reason why I think people are getting all riled up about this game not being as content packed as it probably will be. Maybe, I don't know. But
Yeah.
to answer the question that I posed about what I want to see, y'all were looking at my channel 3 post earlier. You should know what this answer is. Custom knockout tours. Give it to us, Nintendo. Let us pick the 6 tracks in a knockout rally. There's only 8 rallies that we know of in the game. There could be more, but we only know of 8. So
That'd be fun.
give me custom rallies. Do it.
Or even random where like, because I could see a random knockout rally being like, it's like you don't necessarily pick the track, but it randomly chooses a track, and then it has to like, of course, it has to be like a track that connects to it, but like,
Yeah.
there's still like multiple options. So like, you could still have like a random path knockout tour. That could be.
Oh, that would be fun too. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I want to thank you all for tuning in on stream. I probably will upload this on YouTube, more or less unedited. I don't know. We'll see. So sorry, YouTube, if you're watching an hour and a half long discussion that's unedited, but all the links for everything will be in the description down below. My name's Ian. Again, Ariel, thanks for chatting with me. And from Mushroom Kingdom Racing, we hope to see you on the racetrack sometime soon, whether it be in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe or Mario Kart World. Catch y'all next time.